The clock is ticking, not a gentle tick, but a deafening clang. Each clang a tariff imposed, a trade deal broken. The world watches, holding its breath as a storm gathers. Dark clouds of economic uncertainty loom, promising chaos. At the eye of this storm stands a nation divided, its leader wielding tariffs like lightning bolts, striking at the heart of global trade. This is not a drill, this is not a negotiation tactic, this is economic warfare. And the first casualties are not soldiers, but supply chains, currencies, and the fragile hope of international collaboration. Donald Trump's Liberation Day arrived on April 2nd, 2025, not with cheers, but with a collective gasp of disbelief. Tariffs, once a distant threat, became a brutal reality. Almost every import to the US slapped with a 10% levy. China, the economic engine of Asia, facing tariffs as high as 125%. The global trade ecosystem, meticulously built over decades, shuddered under the impact. These were not mere numbers on a spreadsheet. These were declarations of economic war, sending shockwaves through global markets. The world held its breath, waiting for the inevitable retaliation. The storm had arrived. Imagine a world where the smooth flow of goods grinds to a halt, where ships laden with components sit idle, their cargo hostage to political posturing. This is the reality of Trump's trade war. Global supply chains, once symbols of efficiency and interconnectedness, are now choked by tariffs and suspicion. The intricate web of trade that underpins our modern world is unraveling thread by thread, from car manufacturers in Germany to electronics assemblers in Vietnam. Businesses are left reeling, their carefully calibrated production lines disrupted. The cost of doing business skyrockets, jeopardizing jobs and livelihoods across the globe. In this maelstrom of economic uncertainty, a silent victim emerges: innovation. The bustling streets and towering skyscrapers of financial districts may seem like symbols of progress, but beneath the surface, the gears of innovation are grinding to a halt. The technology expos, once a hub of groundbreaking ideas and collaborations, now echo with the uncertainty of the times. The very technologies that hold the key to solving humanity's most pressing challenges are caught in the crossfire. Scientists and engineers who once worked tirelessly to push the boundaries of what's possible now find their efforts stymied by geopolitical tensions and economic barriers. Quantum computing, a field on the cusp of revolutionizing medicine, material science, and artificial intelligence, depends on international collaboration. Researchers from around the globe must work together, sharing knowledge and resources to unlock the full potential of this transformative technology. But collaboration thrives on trust, a commodity in short supply in the age of trade wars. The protests and public debates highlight the growing divide as nations turn inward and prioritize self-interest over collective progress. The free flow of ideas, talent, and resources across borders is the lifeblood of technological advancement. Universities and international conferences, once vibrant centers of innovation, now struggle to maintain their role as incubators of new ideas. Yet, Trump's tariffs are erecting walls, not just between nations, but between minds. The barriers to trade and collaboration are more than just physical. They represent a growing chasm in the global community's ability to work together. The consequences for innovation and for humanity's collective future could be devastating. If we allow these barriers to persist, we risk stifling the very creativity and ingenuity that have driven human progress for centuries. The abandoned tech equipment and decaying industrial areas serve as a stark reminder of what could be lost if we do not find a way to bridge these divides. Section 5. A House Divided. Within the United States, the impact of the trade war is no less profound. The once bustling streets of American cities now echo with the silence of closed shops and empty shelves. The economic landscape is shifting, and not for the better. Consumers, face rising prices on everyday goods from cars and electronics to clothing and food. The cost of living is climbing steadily, making it harder for families to make ends meet. The simple act of grocery shopping has become a stressful ordeal for many. The promise of America First is ringing hollow as families grapple with the rising cost of living. Around kitchen tables across the nation, families are forced to make tough decisions, cutting back on essentials and rethinking their budgets. The financial strain is palpable. The social fabric, already strained by political polarization, is fraying further under the pressure. Communities are divided, with neighbors at odds over political beliefs. Protests are becoming more frequent, and the sense of unity that once defined the nation is eroding. The trade war, sold as a strategy to protect American jobs, is backfiring. Factories that were supposed to thrive are now shutting down, leaving workers without employment. The very people the policy aimed to protect are finding themselves out of work. Industries reliant on global supply chains are shedding jobs, not creating them. The ripple effect is felt across various sectors, from manufacturing to construction. Empty warehouses and abandoned construction sites stand as stark reminders of the economic downturn. Farmers, once reliable Republican voters, are struggling to stay afloat as their export markets dry up. The agricultural sector, a backbone of the American economy, is facing unprecedented challenges. Fields lie fallow, and farmers' markets are eerily empty. The American dream, already elusive for many, is slipping further away. Home ownership, once a cornerstone of that dream, is becoming unattainable for a growing number of people. The stress and uncertainty are visible on the faces of those walking the streets as they navigate an increasingly challenging reality. Section 6, Currency Carousel. The tremors of Trump's trade war are not confined to stock markets and factory floors. Currency markets, the lifeblood of global finance, are also caught in the maelstrom. The US dollar, once a beacon of stability, is now subject to wild fluctuations, its value buffeted by every tweet, every tariff threat. Investors, once eager to pour capital into the American economy, are now wary. The uncertainty, the unpredictability of Trump's trade policies has created a climate of fear. Capital, ever seeking safe havens, is fleeing to other shores. The long-term consequences for the US economy are potentially catastrophic. Section 7, Fading Dreams. In the Global South, the impacts of Trump's trade war are even more acute. Developing countries, already struggling with poverty and inequality, are now facing a double whammy: reduced demand for their exports and volatile commodity prices. The fragile progress made in lifting millions out of poverty is at risk of being reversed. The dream of a more just and equitable world, a world where globalization's benefits are shared by all, is fading. In its place, a new world order is emerging, one marked by protectionism, nationalism, and beggar-thy-neighbor policies. The consequences for humanity could be dire. Section 8, Quantum Quandary. The story of quantum computing, once a beacon of hope in an uncertain world, is now intertwined with the anxieties of the trade war. Quantum computing, with its promise of unprecedented computational power, has the potential to revolutionize fields ranging from cryptography to drug discovery. However, the geopolitical landscape is casting a long shadow over this bright future. This revolutionary technology, with its potential to transform industries and solve global challenges, is now facing an existential threat. The trade war has led to increased scrutiny and restrictions on the exchange of technology and knowledge. Countries are becoming more protective of their technological advancements, fearing that sharing could lead to a loss of competitive edge. The very forces that drive innovation, collaboration, open exchange, and shared risk are being eroded. International conferences that once buzzed with the excitement of shared discoveries are now tinged with caution and suspicion. The free flow of ideas, which is essential for scientific progress, is being stifled by political agendas. The future of quantum computing, and indeed the future of technological progress itself, hangs in the balance. The advancements we have made so far are just the tip of the iceberg. The true potential of quantum computing can only be realized through global cooperation and shared effort. Without it, we risk stagnation and the loss of countless opportunities. Will the world succumb to the siren song of protectionism, or will we find a way to rebuild trust and reignite the spirit of collaboration? The stakes are incredibly high. Protectionism may offer short-term gains, but it ultimately leads to isolation and a slowdown in innovation. On the other hand, rebuilding trust and fostering collaboration can lead to breakthroughs that benefit all of humanity. The answer to this question will determine the fate of generations to come. The choices we make today will shape the world of tomorrow. It is up to us to decide whether we will build walls or bridges, whether we will hoard knowledge or share it freely. The future is in our hands, and the path we choose will define the legacy we leave behind. Section 9, the 11th hour. The storm clouds of Trump's trade war continue to darken the global economic horizon. Supply chains are fractured, currencies are volatile, innovation is under threat. The world waits, holding its breath, unsure of what the future holds. Is this the 11th hour? Have we passed the point of no return? Or can we even now find a way to navigate this storm and emerge into a brighter, more collaborative future? The stakes have never been higher. The time to act is now. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more content like this. What are your thoughts on the future of quantum technology in the current political climate? Comment below.